Hey everybody, Delisa here, and today I wanted to make a little video about my pinhole photography that I've been making with my Pinsta camera that I got that I love and want to do more of. You can see I got a pretty thick stack here. I have used almost the entire box of photo paper that I have. I think I've got like one or two images left in that box, and then I'll be done with it. And I'm getting ready to start on the second box, which I don't know what sort of things I'm going to be taking pictures of. But we'll see. I'm going to practice maybe doing some portraits, which are kind of interesting to do because you have to be still for quite a bit of time, unless you have like really great lighting. But I want to talk about these today, and they're super fun to make. My thing is, what am I going to do with these photos? Not necessarily these specific ones, but with my future pinhole photography and images that I make. I would like to maybe sell them in some way. I have thought about maybe setting up a subscription. Another photographer that I follow has a really great idea of taking your images and on the back turning them into postcards and sending them out. I was like, that's kind of a cool idea. So I don't know, but I just wanted to show you some of them. You can see some of them are not great, like this one here. It's let's see how it's so dark. It's because it's underexposed, which exposure times are the thing that I struggle with the most with the pinhole camera. And I'm always working on that and getting better at it, and it's just a learning curve mostly and in practice. So this photo is of there's a cobweb here with some drops of water in the webbing. So I took that, and then here's my second attempt, which I got the exposure a lot better. This down here that you're seeing under the cobweb is the reflection of the trees and the sky in the on the barrel that this cobweb was hanging off of. I think that looks really cool. I love this one. So basically these are the same exact shot. This one, as you can see, this back here, this is the side of my house, and then here's some trees in the background, and this is the edge of the barrel. So when I took this one, I moved the camera closer so I could try and cut those things out. So adjusted the composition, got such a, I mean, I love these photos. They're not perfect, crisp images of things. They're weird and all. This one is also in my yard. This is some grass. The wind was blowing, so that is why the grass is slightly out of focus, and there's snow and buildings and things. See? Not a perfect image, but I love it. This one is of some old kilns, and they're off in the distance because that's one of the things about this, because of the size of the whole things. It's very wide and things look really small. These are actually really big buildings, But you can see these lines here are from the developer chemicals on it. And for whatever reason, this is like darkly toned, even though it was a very clear, bright sky. And these are all the grasses and the weeds down here are out of focus because the wind was blowing, and it's lovely. I love these. This one, again, this is a mint plant in my backyard. Blurry and out of focus because it's always windy when I'm trying to take pictures of things. It is inevitable in my yard if I go out to do any kind of photography, especially if I take my digital camera out to do some close-up or macro photography. As soon as I get my camera set up, the wind will start blowing. It's every time. This is the same mint, slightly different composition, but this one it's underdeveloped because my developer was getting old, and so when I went back and did this one, I made a fresh batch of developer. That's why the composition is different, and they look different. Let's see, this one again, exposure is wrong. This was way underexposed, so everything that was in this part of the image is dark and you can't see it. That sometimes happens. This is one of the very first photos that I took with my Pinsta, and it's of our old truck, and I just love it. I love how the images turn out. I love that they're black and white. I love all the imperfections in them, whether it be it with the developer and chemicals. You can see down here this little ghostly line that is from how the developing chemicals washed over the print there. And that's the same with like this over here. But this is the coast. You can see this down here is all kind of blurry looking because it's from the waves coming in and out. It's gorgeous. Another picture of the beach. And this was one of the first ones that I took. So this was when I was learning about kind of how close you need to be to things. So I was a few feet away from this. This is actually a huge pile of driftwood on the beach that if I were to stand next to it, it'd probably be almost as tall as I am. Not quite, so probably around like 4 feet tall or more. And of course, it doesn't look like that in the picture because I had my camera too far back. And because these are so wide, this over here is actually some of the campground that I was trying not to have in the picture. But like I said, I was just learning how to use this Pinsta, and so I still love this photo. This one, see how it looks overexposed and underdeveloped, but this is smoke from wildfires we were having that year, and the smoke was so thick, like you could just, when you looked out across the lake, it was like this, like you could barely see the islands or anything. And so all this, it's smoke in the air. You know, I love that photo. This one is again another one where I could have adjusted the exposure time, because this right here is pretty dark, but you can still see the little toy skull. And of course, and the exposure out here is much better. Yeah, it was just too contrasty with all this was in the sun and this was in shadow, and it would have been better to have the sun shining on this, or like photographing this stump from the other side where it would have not been shooting into the sun and, you know, change things around. That's okay. These are, you know, it's a learning thing. This one, again, it's a similar thing where like everything, it was a bright sunny day, so all this is like pretty bright and washed out. This is an old tugboat that's at the edge of the lake that is abandoned and rotting. I was at the edge of the road. You can still see part of the bank here, and so I should have gotten my camera closer to get more of the boat. So I think I'm going to try this one again. I may have to do a tiny bit of trespassing. So I'm like just off the edge of the road, because this right here is the road. Even though I had set my tripod close to the edge without having it fall over, it still I needed to get closer. This one, this is when I was experimenting with different things. So this ghostly shape right here, that's me wearing a tablecloth. And I'm out in my yard. And then this, it's hard to see, but this white like line that's coming down through here at the last few seconds of the exposure, I took some white lace and dangled it in front of the camera to kind of brighten this area and kind of blur it out a little bit more. I am bent down because my tablecloth was not big enough to cover me while I stood, because I was trying to go for some just being fun. I love it. It was a good experiment. See, this one I took was that picture of the kilns. I had loaded this up and was walking down to where the kilns were so I could get the photo of them, and I did not realize the shutter on my camera was open the whole time that I was walking down there and then set up the shot. Like I didn't realize. And so yeah, so I got these weird lines from me walking and moving the camera around, and that was kind of a surprise, even though I knew I had messed it up by having the shutter open. I went ahead and developed it so I could see what that looked like, and that's what that looks like when you walk around with your shutter open. Let's see, this one actually goes this way, or does it go this way? I don't remember. This way, because that's a treetop over there. So this one I had laid the camera down on the ground and was shooting up into the trees, and the camera got bumped and moved a bit because my kids' dogs decided that where my camera was laying on the ground was the perfect place to play and run and be wild, so it got moved around. And that's what that one. This one is one I just recently took of the Cedar Street Bridge here where I live, and as you can see, I overexposed it because I am still having a super hard time with exposure. I didn't have the app that I usually use to try and get exposure times, and that did make a difference. So I am going to try this shot again because I do like it. I like the framing that I got. So over here there's more of the bridge that you can't see because it's just overexposed, but I like how we got the reflection down of the bridge down in the water and everything. So I'm going to try this one again. And then this one you can see is just how this is all white and there's like some weird looking stuff. I was trying to see if I could get an image of the frost on the window which would have worked better if I would have had something on the outside of the window to kind of soften the light, so it was just less of a blowout there. So it was a good experiment. But like I said, I am trying to decide what to do with my pinhole photography as I move forward with it. Not specifically, you know, these images, because even though I love them, but excuse me, I forgot to bring my water over here. To try and figure out how to do that. Do I sell them as like one-off prints? Should I scan them and make them into a book of some kind? I really should have got my water. Do the subscription things send out postcards to folks who want them? I'm not sure, but we'll see. I'm going to wrap this up before I cough to death. Subscribe, follow, do all the things. Hopefully I'll be making some more content like this in future.